Swivl Sessions, interviews with field service entrepreneurs. Get insights and strategies from those who took the leap and risked it all to start their own home service companies. Can't begin to tell you how exciting it is to sit down with someone whose story really captures what the future of the trades is all about. Vinny Arnese has spent more than 2 decades with LIXIL, building an incredible career that spans customer service, leadership, product expertise, and national training. But what impressed me most about Vinny isn't just his resume, it's his mission, because he's deeply committed to advancing the next generation of skilled tradespeople. And he does that through programs like TradeUp, where he's actively working with vocational schools, apprenticeships, and educators to kind of close that skills gap and show young people that the trades aren't just a backup plan anymore. They're a powerful path to financial freedom, purpose, and leadership. And what stood out to me most is just how passionate he is about changing that perception of the trades. Talking about plumbers as water doctors and how technology is completely transforming the industry, which it is. And most importantly, about the responsibility leaders have to mentor the next generation. So not just a conversation about plumbing products or training, really was a conversation about opportunity, mindset, and building a career that can actually make an impact, not just in the business owners' lives, but in other people's lives as well. So just fascinating conversation. Really enjoyed learning so much from this guest, Vinny Arnese with LIXIL. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to Swivl Sessions, where we love to shine a light on field service entrepreneurs. And 2 words that I love using when introducing someone are incredible career, which absolutely applies to our next guest. He spent the last 20 years with LIXIL, where he's built that incredible career, focusing on leadership, product expertise, and most importantly, something very near and dear to our hearts here at Swivl, advancing the future of the trades. And he does that through initiatives like TradeUp, which partners with trade schools and industry educators to help bridge that gap, that skills gap, and bring more people into the trades. The other thing I really love about our next guest is he is what we call here at Swivl Sessions a podcast crafty veteran. I just watched a great one he did a couple of months ago with PodScan, where he talked about making career changes at 40. So Rob, we got to bring our A game with this guy. Of course, I'm talking about Vinny Arnese, Senior National Sales and Product Trainer with LIXIL. Vinny, welcome to Swivl Sessions.
Hey, yo, how you doing, Tyson?
How do you like being called a podcast crafty veteran?
That's the first time I've been called that. I love that. That's fantastic. I sound more important.
We love first here.
Well, I'm a little intimidated now. Hey, so Vinny, what I like to do is I like to try to go through a timeline and just tell a story of kind of who our guest is, who you are. Going back in time a bit, tell me about like what your background is. How'd you get started? What were you doing before this, and how'd you get to where you're at?
Sure. Well, Rob and Tyson, first of all, thank you. I'm honored to be on your show. This is fantastic.
Thank you.
It's a great platform, and you reach a great audience that is some very beneficial information for them.
Thank you.
Thank you. So just to back up, I guess, Rob, to answer your question, where I started in VOTech, so vocational school. To go back to high school just a couple of years ago. I'll go back to high school. Yeah, young. So I started in welding and I learned a bunch of different trades. They didn't have plumbing at my VOTech in East Brunswick, New Jersey. But they had auto mechanics, they had welding, they had building a goods shop. They had a whole bunch of different shops. It was great. My uncle's a welder. My other uncle is a GC. So pretty familiar with the trades in general. It didn't work out the way I planned. I ended up switching my shop to commercial art and ended up learning the artistic side of things, and then went to school for IT. Actually, I graduated and went to school for computer networking. What I realized was it was great. It was a great career, great money. I wasn't fulfilling me. I wasn't feeling 100% satisfied, and I am a talker. I can't stop talking. Actually, that's what people tell me. They're like, Vinny, you gotta do something where you're in a role where you communicate. So migrating buildings alone, doing computers was not for me. I ended up seeing a huge opportunity at a huge company, American Standard, and I ended up taking a pay cut to do customer service there, which was okay. I saw myself at a a really big company. I knew some people there, and I saw growth is what I was looking at. Right, I was looking at the future potential. I learned a whole lot. I learned that people get really mad and they want to fight you about toilet issues. So
Rob knows about that as well.
I do.
I sympathize with everybody that has issues, and I learned how to communicate effectively, how to not take that personally, and to realize that we are here, everybody, humans, we're here to help each other. We're not here to fight about our problems. And if I represent a company, I'm here to represent the company, not take it personally. So I want to say at LIXIL, I grew up at LIXIL. I started when I was 20. I couldn't go to the bar with everybody. And the last 23 years, I grew up with a bunch of mentors showing me the ropes, showing me how to communicate effectively in business and personal relationships. So 12 years, I did customer service, and then was able to get onto our training team, where I'm able to stand in front of designers, architects, plumbers, engineers, anybody I can get in front of. But Tyson, what you mentioned was I lead the TradeUp program. And what that program is a advocacy program for the next generation of trade professionals, mainly. So that the path has led me to being an instructor. And in the middle of all that, I took martial arts and Muay Thai. I teach Muay Thai. I apply all of those elements into my teaching.
So you're the guy we want. You're the guy we want in the trench with us.
Yes, I'll be your bodyguard. I love it. I thrive on. It sounds bad. I thrive on conflict, but it's more about conflict resolution. Is really what I thrive.
So,
on.
what are the points of Muay Thai that you incorporate into your business?
Discipline.
I mean, isn't Muay Thai like it's about like using, or is that jujitsu? Using the opponent's trajectory against him, right?
Yeah, I want to say that's pretty much almost all martial arts is using your opponent's momentum. Muay Thai is it's the art of the 8 limbs. So it's think of karate on steroids, right? It's kind of just straightforward, and the idea is to finish it before it gets more than 30 seconds.
So time out. I know this isn't about Muay Thai and martial arts, but I only have 4 limbs, I think. Well, I mean, I guess that's debatable.
Easy.
Where are the other ones?
The ones that you fight with are, you got 2 knees, you got 2 elbows, you got 2 fists, and you got 2 shins. So you got, I know shins aren't a limb, but they are pretty damaging in a Muay Thai fight. So you have 8 limbs, you have your body is your weapon. And I translate that to plumbing students. It's about the hard work you put in, the perseverance, and discipline. And if you put hard work in, you put the time in, that pays off. If you don't put the time in, you can't succeed. And anything that is hard is usually worthwhile, right? Or anything that's worthwhile is usually hard. You could kind of put those two together. If you make it through that, you realize all that Muay Thai training, I went through war, and then you go do life, and you realize that's not as hard as the war I went through in training with my comrades. Yeah. So to me, I always bring it back to, it's not as bad as getting knocked out from my friends, right? So, I could do this. You could do the presentation, right? I want the students to understand that what they're doing is a career. It's not a job. You are literally saving people's lives by, the poster says it here, protecting the health of the nation. So for me, plumbers are water doctors. I refer to them as water doctors. The students kind of look at me confused, and I ask them, put yourself in the place of a scrub surgeon. If that scrub surgeon didn't have potable, hygienic water to that scrub station, which was supplied by plumbers, you can't do surgery, right? Yeah. So there's a partnership when it comes to protecting the health of the world.
So let me, it seems to me like you bifurcated your professional career here, where you gained expertise on one side and now you're teaching. So I'm really enthralled by the second half, especially. Was there a moment where you said, "Damn, I want to teach people. I want to coach.
Yes.
I want to give my expertise back to the community"? Well, was that like a one? When you just wake up one day and said, "Holy shit, this is what I want to do"?
It was a process, but I want to say when I started my martial arts career, which is around the same time I started American Standard, I had a calling. I started to understand the techniques really well, and I wanted to pay it forward because this was knowledge that I learned and I was mentored, and it just seemed like the right thing to do, right? You have this ultimate knowledge, people to protect themselves, to feel confident in themselves, and I saw that as something that innate in me that I should do.
That's
Yeah,
something
so
that's unique. I mean, Tyson will tell you, but some people just are not good teachers. They don't have the patience, and that's me. I mean, but so hats off to you and to all teachers, coaches out there that do have that patience to do that. So
My angle, Vinny, is I grew up with Rob, so there's a vernacular that goes on that you learn to navigate. So
sure. Of course. And Rob, you're right. Not everybody is made to teach or to deliver information, but I think everybody
right.
has their own way of doing it. And if
Yeah,
you, Tyson and Rob and myself, if we're able to stand in front of these students and get their niche and navigate them to be able to pay it forward to teach leadership, which really essentially that's what we want to do, right? We want to
yeah,
get the next generation to be good leaders. And I think
right.
that's kind of all of our responsibilities. We have the expertise, the experience. Let's get the next generation. And even if it's just that one student in the back that's not saying anything and we got them to talk, to me, that's success from my end. To just make an impact of 1 or 20. I don't care if it's just the one, we're successful.
I love
and that
it.
kind of leads into my next question, because I know you had expectations going in with LIXIL and being a part with the trades. Was that one of them? Was just getting that across to the students?
When I first started LIXIL American Standard, I had no idea that I would be even exiting the customer service department.
Yeah.
It kind of developed that I just started learning. I was doing customer service for a retail division, but I just started learning everything that I could. I saw the value of adding value, right? So the more value you add, the more somebody internally will say, hey, Vinny's got all this knowledge. Let's put them in a place where they can shine and really educate the next generation or educate the customers. It was after customer service that I realized at the company, we talked about a wide scale issue, global scale of plumber shortage. And I was part of that conversation. I said, I'd like to help with that. And they said, great, we're volunteering you to take the next step. So it was good. I spoke up and then I said, how do I do it? And they said, you're going to figure it out.
You're a smart guy. Go figure it out. I hear that a lot. So.
And I think the apex of your success, tell me if I'm wrong, is your ability for communication, and that probably stemmed from way back when, right? When you're doing customer service, that's the ability to communicate the company's ideas and ideals to people who might be upset about their toilets, and that's tough to get to communicate to people who are upset about their toilets.
Yes, especially when it's just one in the house and they're flipping out and they're cursing, and it's hard to not take that personally. But then you realize this is business. There's nothing is personal.
Oh, that's right.
So I learned that, and you're right. Communication. I was just asked on a previous podcast with Judaline Cassidy. She asked me, would you rather have a manager that has empathy or really good communication? And I chose good communication because empathy is great, but you need to know how to communicate effectively to get anything across. That degree.
Absolutely. I mentioned in the intro, it's very inspiring for people like Rob and myself to see what you're doing and shining that light on the trades. Why do you think, Vinny, that the trades still get overlooked? You touched on how critical they are in the smallest of areas. Why do you think that is? And what are some of the problems or hurdles that you've kind of seen dealing with that?
Well, since 2017, I guess that's when we really started this initiative of TradeUp. I would say that the perception of the trades, which I know Mike Rowe does the show Dirty Jobs, which is a fantastic show, shows you the in and outs. I think people got the perception that plumbers just crawl around in sewers and they're just getting their hands dirty with filth. When that's not the case, right? Toilets and plumbing it's for a small percentage of what plumbing is. I think it's the perception, and we need to change that perception. And there's also an academic side of it where the push is the only way to be successful is through academics, which is untrue. You can have a lucrative plan A through trades. It's not marketed. It's not talked about. And I think the other part is we don't make it glamorous. We need to make it exciting, not glamorous, but exciting. We need to let the students know that it's not your grandfather's plumbing. It's not your grandmother's plumbing anymore. We have products like bidets that have electronics, 3D printed faucets like this one, which is a $20,000 faucet, a 3D printed faucet. It's crazy, right? And I'm wagging it around like it's nothing, but these are stuff that the students, they don't know. We have such products where you can take your phone and control flush valves through your phone, right? Instead of a remote. So
technology.
Yes, technology is advancing, and it's actually cool and fun. It's a fun thing to learn. So I'm noticing that now the next generation, they are interested. The seats are filled. The seats aren't empty as they were 7 years ago. So the scene is changing. It's the perception that all of us, like what Rob and Tyson, what you guys do is like myself, it's up to us to educate the next generation, show them what you're going to be working with is not old school. This is new school, but we need the old school experience to help the next generation get through it.
100%. I totally agree. Yeah, and that's, what we see too. I mean, what you're saying about getting them excited, right? I mean, that's one of the things that can excite them is that they can make a ton of money building a business, and
that's theirs.
It's theirs, yeah. And starting out is no longer that difficult. There are tools that they can jump on immediately. They don't need to hire a lady to sit in the office or man to answer phones and do the bookkeeping. That's all. We can automate all that, right? And this is kind of what we're pushing out into the field. So I think the barriers to entry, if you will, to starting a business in plumbing or any other trades business, they're going away. So the competition is being leveled to, compared to the big guys. So I can compete head to head with those guys. Even then, I think I have an advantage with the tools that I have and the overhead burden that they have. If I'm starting out now, maybe it's partly I have a bit of a chip on my shoulder, but I think it is the truth, and that's what we're going after. And I think to your point, and there is excitement in it, and I think that stigma is going away, and people are seeing that people can make tons of money starting, building, selling their businesses.
Yeah, actually, Rob, what you just said, when I pull up to night school for apprentices, and these are students that are working full time during the day, still going to school at night, and there may be ages 20 to, well, it could be 50. I mean, somebody might have traded up their career, right? But usually it's younger guys and girls. And I see in the parking lot, there's Range Rovers, there's Mercedes. And I walk in and I go, "Is anybody got the Range Rover?" Well, that's me. And then I'm like, "Wow, you guys didn't finish school, and you got, it looks like financial freedom in the parking lot already."
Yeah.
So to me, it's something I need the students to understand, that you're not only going to make an exuberant amount of money. You own your own business. On a decent year, you could do 200,000. On a really good year, you could do 380,000. Right. So it's stuff that they need to know, that they can reach those figures. But it's up to us. And I think with what you guys do with your application, providing automated service analytics and being able to automate things, and us educating them that here's a tool you didn't know about. You're a smaller business. This is a tool you guys need. So I think that's something we need to just educate them. There's no national TV marketing for this kind of stuff.
And also giving them the confidence to take whatever idea or inspiration and manifest it. I think so many times there's just that cliff that people just feel like they're jumping off of, and it's just giving them the confidence to say, hey, it's not that big of a step.
And that's where coaches and I'm sorry to cut you off, but product trainers like yourself, that's where you guys are essential. I mean, everyone needs a role model and a hero, if you will, to a mentor to look up to and tell them, point them in the right direction at least.
Yeah, Rob, actually, when we go to Votex, and it's more so Votex because the apprentices, they made their decision, but the vocational high schools, first 30 minutes, I don't talk about plumbing. We talk about a little bit about who we are, who LIXIL is. Nobody really knows about LIXIL. They know American Standard, but they don't know LIXIL. And then I talk about success. How do you become successful? How do you start? And it all starts in your head when you wake up in the morning. And that's the conversation we have for 30 minutes is, how do you start this positive loop of success instead of negative loops? And to what you said, Tyson, you're manifesting your success. You need to start it with your mind.
I can't.
Right.
Vinny, tell me a little bit more about your role as a senior in product trainer at LIXIL. So like you're going to schools, you're going to companies, I know you got like 5 brands that you're repping at LIXIL, right? So American Standard, is it Hansgrohe?
Yeah, Hansgrohe is the brother company of, we are the other company. We're Grohe.
Okay, all right. Confused there, but
they're very similar companies. So we're American Standard, Grohe or Grohe, as our customers say. DXV is the luxury brand of American Standard. There's also Grohe Spa, which is the luxury version of Grohe. And some other brands like Basco and Enax are Japanese plumbing division, which provides all of our bidets, which, by the way, if you haven't tried a bidet, do it.
I am so sold. I could talk to you for hours about it. And
we got a buddy that kind of turned
people,
everybody. Yeah.
People like me who are sold. It is the way to go. Everyone else they're living like primitive cavemen.
Banging stones together to make the fire.
Yeah.
There's nothing like a heated seat with heated water. And when you get the next generation to understand it, they're all squeamish at first, and then they all want to sample at the end of the session. So it's something that everybody understands the value of. But when it comes to being in front of our whoever I'm in front of, I'm in front of our wholesalers, our distributors, our engineers, designers, architects, mechanical groups, anybody I can get in front of to discuss whether it's the design aspect, troubleshooting, the sales system aspect. Either way, I want to stand in front of them, let them know what we offer and really what we do different. It's not that we're better, I'm biased, but I like to tell people our differentiators and how that may make us better in their perception.
A lot of that apparently is high tech stuff, right? I mean, bidets and 3D printed $20,000 faucets. That's a beautiful faucet.
Careful with that thing, Vinny.
Easy. It goes in a glass case. No, it's something that people think of American Standard. They think of clinical public restroom, but I like to show them we do more than that, right?
I mean, I when you think of plumbing fixtures and you think of a commodity product, but what you're saying is that's not a commodity product. There's a little more exciting things than that.
Yes, there's a whole ton of exciting things, and for plumbers who protect the health of the nation. Our LIXIL mission statement is we make better homes a reality for everyone everywhere. So we want everybody to have the experience of, say, the bidet. But if you don't have $10,000 to buy one from a competitor, we have the ability to offer you at $5,000 or $200. So basically a seat for every budget. I know it's very bad. I use other words in place of that, but
it's like an upgrade though. You get someone in and they like it, and then they're like, "Well, what about this? What about?" And you kind of set that hook.
Yes, exactly. We want to make sure everybody gets the experience, regardless of what your spending ability is.
Well, Rob said earlier, Vinny, and I can't wait to hear your take on it. But we love to tout technology and love your perspective on how important technology is in the trades right now.
Oh. Sorry.
That was the question. Yeah, sorry. Repeat the question and the answer.
So how important is technology? I would say extremely important because the new generation is on the phone, right? They can access information very quickly. They can access specs, PPS sheets, where I want to say the older generation is still relying on price books and making a phone call where you don't necessarily need to make a phone call anymore with technology. We send out something called the digital room. So if we do a training, I will then take all that information in the training, send out a link, and now you have basically a digital showroom of everything we talked about, resources and everything. So there's no need to make extra phone calls. You still have my contact, but we provide everything we talked about in one link, and you have everything that you need, and anything that you don't need, you let us know. So technology and AI has advanced a whole lot. Yeah. Same thing with tools.
Yeah.
There's new tools out there. There's press connect tools. You don't have to solder everything. You can press connect. You can crimp stuff. So there's a lot of other ways to do things more efficiently and faster.
I think that is the name of the game. So I had a plumbing company, and that was right when the pro prices were coming out. And in fact, I started out by we were one of the first ones in Atlanta to have a jetter machine. That was a long time ago.
Nice.
But that gave us a huge advantage. So like those technological advantages really give you that advantage over your competition by a long shot. So and that is the name of the game, is increasing efficiencies.
100%. I mean, we're making ASSE 1070 faucets, so that anti-scald coating. We're making those faucets out of the box. You don't need to install a control box underneath the deck anymore. We want to make it seamless, fast, install from the top, done, onto the next job. Stuff like that makes the installers day-to-day easier.
Yep.
Quicker, and we want them to be loyal to us, but we also want to make products that are going to have them have confidence in our brand.
Another edge too, Vinny, is you've got young kids that are going to be going into the trades that they come out of the womb already a little bit tech savvy. You know, I mean, I have still show my mother where the flashlight is on her phone. So it's just that kind of bridges that gap a little bit better too when we're talking about technology, say running a business and things like that.
Yes, and I'm seeing a trend where plumbing outfits are getting the newer generation involved, hiring them in because they are quicker to catch on to
Yep.
newer systems. They're quicker to manage the newer systems than the old school generation needs the new school, and the new school needs the old school. So there's a partnership that you can't cut out the 50 years of experience of knowledge that you learn in the field that you won't learn in a book. So I tell the students, listen to your mentors and work with your seniors. They are going to teach you. You're going to teach them. So there is a partnership to this. I think it's us letting them know that this is the route. You can't go in with a full ego, especially in a plumbing shop. You will get beat down. Actually, come in being humble. Humble is all the key right there.
You have to get the experience and then match it with innovation, and that is a winning combination.
Yeah, and all plumbing outfits, and Rob, you owned a plumbing company. They want talented people. They don't care where you come from. They don't care your gender. They don't care your color.
What you look like. Yeah.
They don't care. I've talked to many plumbers. They want people that are capable. That's what they tell me. I don't just don't want a warm body. I want somebody who wants to make money, who wants to learn. And those are the people that I try to really, when I meet, I try to really tell them, hey, listen, if you're serious, call me. I'll write you a letter of recommendation. We will talk to the unions. We'll try to help you get in. If you don't get in on the first shot, we'll send a letter. Let's work together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, Vinny, tell me about, what does the future hold for you next 5 to 10 years? And do you have any specific goals that you've got lined up? I mean, is it goals for you? Is it goals for your students? Is it goals for Muay Thai?
Hopefully I could own my own dojo. That would be cool.
There you go.
Time and traveling, since I'm national, it doesn't leave me a lot of time to keep Muay Thai students. But when it comes to the professional side, I would say I do see myself still doing this. I enjoy being in the field. I enjoy being in front of students.
Fulfilled.
Yes. I don't want to trade this role for a job where I am stuck behind the computer 7 days a week, 5 days a week. So I still see myself doing this, but maybe in a bigger scale, maybe in a global scale, to help our LIXIL global advocacy, because we do this in the US, but we also do it in the UK with our Grow a Give program. We do it in South Africa. We have many talented people that are doing a very similar program across the globe. Since we're global, we got to be responsible. But we're headquartered in New Jersey. So if anybody, typical Vinny from New Jersey, if anybody is local enough, we do have our R&D center here in Piscataway. I would invite anybody on your show audience that is willing to take a trip. If they want to come in, I would be willing to do a tour and show you guys the nuts and bolts of how we make toilets, how we do things here. It always is an eye opener for students that we bring in. We bring in apprentices here. They get the aha, and then they understand why are we selling toilets for $200? They should be $1,000 because they see the process of how it's made. Yeah. So if any audience members are open to that, we would love to invite people here.
Well, speaking of our audience members, I mean, this conversation could go on forever, and we love hearing your journey and how much good you're doing and you're bringing to the trades. What is the one thing, Vinny, that you would want someone that is considering entering the trades to hear before they take that first step? What would you want them to take away from this conversation?
So don't be afraid. I would say don't take the first step. If you don't take the first step, then you won't take any steps. I think that's the biggest thing I teach in schools is about fear. And fear is just false evidence appearing real. And you should take your fears and transmute them into energy and just take the step. If it doesn't work, that's okay. I mean, the whole program is called TradeUp. You could trade out of plumbing. You could trade up to a different career. It's a matter of just doing it. Take action. 100%. Don't stew. Don't ruminate too much. Just take action.
As Teddy Roosevelt said himself, get action. That's the right way to do it.
So true. And we're here to help. I'm here to help. If you're afraid to take that first step, please reach out to me. I'm I am willing to help anybody take that first step.
Well, Vinny, you have been so generous with your time, and this journey has just been awesome to kind of unfold. Watching you elevate the trades, and I know this conversation is going to inspire some people. You talked a lot about TradeUp. If someone's a contractor or an educator or just a student that kind of wants to get involved or learn more, normally this is the time where we put an owner's placard up or say, you can reach them here. What's the best way that they can do that as far as getting involved with TradeUp?
To get involved, we have a site on americanstandard.com/TradeUp. We have a whole site on there. Also on LIXILpro.com, under our solutions section, we have a whole section for plumbers. That also gives information on how to get in touch. We also have spec books for plumbers that are walking into houses to help them show customers. But if you want to email me, the easiest email is TradeUp@LIXIL.com, and that'll go to a specific TradeUp inbox that comes all to me.
Vinny, thank you so much again. I mean, your story, your perspective, the way that you just show up every day for this industry, kind of like we do, it stands out, and it's leaders like you that are really making the future of the trade something excited to be about. So thank you so much for doing that on everyone's behalf and for being on Swivl Sessions.
Thank you, Tyson
Thank
and
you,
Rob.
Vinny. All right.
Amazing show. So, and Rob,
that's a wrap. Thanks for listening or watching. Swivl's field service software is everything you need to run your field service business for free. Till next time, check us out at swivl.tech. That's SWIVL.tech.